We making a move, niggas say that. Like Hogan and stand fuck a playback. Niggas is snakes, so I stay strapped. Willing a fortune like Sajak. Just like my city, I never sleep. This alternative, you got a better peep. Smell of the cash like amphetamine. Saga me lit like a Lebanese. 4/5 got a kick and she lemon squeeze. Really him, not what you pretend to be. Nigga,
what do you think about the new president like elect?
I know him for over 40 years, so I have a personal. I mean, he's the thing about Trump is he is authentic. He is authentically bad. That's who he is. Though that's who he was when I met him in the late 80s and worked with him. That's who, and other people come along. They're like, I want to be like Trump, like Ron DeSantis or somebody like that. And people will go, you're not authentic. You're not. They're never people. We're never going to vote for somebody that's not authentic. So I think I wish him the best. I hope he does eliminate the tax on Social Security because I'm on Social Security. He made a lot of promises, a lot of expensive promises.
Shout out SSI.
But I think that, there's some of his ideas are just awful. I think if they were enacted, deporting 12 or 15 million people all of a sudden, it would be so bad for business. I grew up in a farm area, and it would shut down right there, right that day one. There'd be no nannies in California. There'd be no people. There'd be no construction. You would get, crews. And I think everybody should enter the country legally. But I also think there's a bunch of people here who have dedicated their entire lives to being good citizens. And they paid taxes. They've started businesses. They've had families. They're members of the community. And I think that if people were smart, Reagan did this back in the 80s. He had an amnesty for the people that were good citizens and been here a long time. This. And then the idea was we'll start it over for new people, keep them out. They also had to pay tax. They had to pay a big fee. They had to do all the paperwork. And it was a good thing. Then they got the bad guys out of here. Then of course, it's not a Democrat fault or a Republican fault. It's the people in Congress. They just fuck up that. They won't make a decision like it's political. So they never get shit done. I do hope he gets shit done there. I'd like to see that, more guys. But that's what I think.
All right, before we move on to your movie career, Tom, I was doing a little digging and just finding out some stuff about your background, and I found out that your sister was one of the biggest meth dealers in Iowa.
No, in the country. She was the biggest drug. Oh my God, I got her reading that so I can see you guys. She was the biggest drug dealer in America, and people are like, "Was it embarrassing having your sister be a drug dealer?" And I'm like, "Not when I was doing drugs. It wasn't embarrassing."
Oh.
Fucking Andy. There are where I'm from. You could go either way, And she, there's a documentary series about her and us growing up called "The Queen of Meth," and I think they did a good job with it because they really go into what our childhood was like, which is fucked up. But you can see how she made the decisions that she made, And my mom was a absolute lunatic. The first time we ever drank or did drugs, we got it from our mom, and she was doing all this shit. She was a bit of a dealer, involved. But she was also married to the chief of police. That's the kind of town I'm from, and we were raised by our dad, who was a single dad because my mom took off. And she ended up getting married 7 times, all in our small town. And he was solid, And then when I was 10, he married the next door neighbor because, he couldn't date. When you have 3 little kids, he was 22, I was 4, my sister was 3, my brother was 1. And that's something I really appreciate now as a dad. Like, how the hell do you do that? But at one point, he said he wanted to marry the next door neighbor who had kids too. And we wanted him to be happy. He asked us, believe it or not, and we said yes. And then they got married. And that was a little bit of a tough thing for me because, I'm older and she kind of wanted to break me or get me out of the house. And I ended up moving in with my grandparents, who the first day I was 11, I moved in with my grandparents. My grandparents were very nice. My grandma was extra nice. I moved in And I came home from school and we're eating dinner, and she buries her head in her hands and starts weeping. And my grandma was like, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" And because I had a black eye, I didn't even think about it. But
Mm.
boys get a lot of black eyes where I'm from, and I remember thinking, "Oh, I can't live here either because there
Mm.
will be a lot of black eyes if that's how she's gonna." But so when I was 15, I moved in with our mom because I wanted to drink, do drugs, grow my hair. Fuck it. Like I knew she had no rules; she'd never be home, and so I knew what I was getting into. Like, I never thought of her as a mom, but I'm like, I will
Mhm.
live there. I'll fucking live my life. And then my sister, who'd done so great in school and sports, um, moved in too when she was 14. And my mom, she started dating a 22-year-old, but pedophile from our town.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
And so my mom's like, you have three choices. You can break up with him, which a 14-year-old girl's like, I'm not going to do that. I can have him arrested, or you could marry him. And she's like, yeah, I'll marry him. I'm 14. So my mom drove them down to Missouri. You could do that at that time.
Oh wow.
Everybody got wasted. She married this guy, and her life was just off the rails from that. And he beat her up on their wedding night. I went over there, got him, and got her, and all this other shit. He ended up dying in a mysterious fire in his own bed. I think my sister probably. She's pretty
That's
tough. So
crazy.
you
Sheesh.
cannot go back to eighth grade if you've been married, or seventh grade or eighth grade. You don't go, you're married, you've lived with a guy, and then you can't just go back and integrate with your old gang at the junior high. And so she realized that she needed to do something with her life. And our mom, she was kind of watching our mom do the minor drug dealing and stuff. And Lori decided, I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna be the best ever at that. I'm gonna make it a big business. And because she was very smart, and that's what she did. Her next husband was a biker, president of the Grim Reaper motorcycle gang, and
Nice.
Jesus.
Okay.
violent dude. But
Right.
ends up building this, starting small, building until she had at the end, when the DEA and the feds came in, she had an underground lab at her farm. She had a farm on one side of my town, and I had it on the other. And she had an underground lab, had a real scientist in there making the meth. They were buying the meth, but the stuff, the juice or whatever the chemical is, from the Mexican mafia. They had a whole. First, they started dealing with them, and then they started buying the barrels of whatever. And then she went, "I don't need them. I'm going to make it here." And she, Iowa is right in the middle of the country, and there's Interstate 80, and she had all those bikers that would run their shit from coast to coast, and it was a big deal. But as you know, all that shit ends badly. Anytime
Mm.
there's something that is not just illegal, but something that
Yeah.
there's morally, so you knew that. Like she was right, she had an airplane, she had all this shit, all these houses, bought her friends all houses, all this shit. But I knew it's going to end badly, and I wanted to be
Right.
Hollywood, and so I moved out to Hollywood. But we were very close, but I just knew it was going to end badly, and it ended very badly. And
Mm.
and what's bad, she'd never admit that she's an addict. I am a recovering addict, alcoholic. I will say that. She, but she got back out of prison 10 years. I mean, her 7-year-old son, Josh, one day the cops came in to their house, busted the doors out, got pointed guns at him, and his parents were taken out, and he never saw them again. I mean, my sister,
Jesus.
she 10-year term. His dad, the biker, who would not apologize for dealing drugs or running guns, and he wasn't going to turn on anybody. He died in Fort Leavenworth, so that was the last time that 7-year-old kid sees his dad being hauled off to jail, and that's it. And she got to get out. I got her a really good lawyer, and she did narc on people, and as they all do. You might as well just do it because they're all going to narc on you, and obviously
Mhm.
on my sister. But do what you got to do, man. If you've got a family, do what you
It's
got to
the
do.
new trend, Arnold. It's the new trend.
Yeah,
It's the
there's
new trend, man.
well, but she got out, and I got her job at the meatpacking plant where I used to work, Boro, and
Oh,
I
nice.
thought best job in town. It's hard work, keep her straight, keep her whatever. And then I got a call that she'd from the DEA guy. Yeah, she's not working at the plant anymore. She's opened a bar. She's drinking,
Oh.
and she's dealing drugs. And he said, if she will stop right now, we're not going to bust her again. And so I fly home. I get my 6 brothers and sisters and my dad. We go to take a picture at the picture studio down in our town, and we walk out of there. And I say, Lori, I talked to the DA guy. They know what you're doing, and but if you quit right now, they're going to bust you. And she's like, mind your own fucking business. And then,
Oh wow.
a week later, she's back in prison for 10 years. It's a powerful drugs. Addiction, it's a powerful thing. It might be money. With her, I'm sure it was drugs, money, booze, power. It's a very addictive, and people make incredibly bad decisions. But I have to say, she's doing great now. She's up in Ohio, drives a forklift. Knock on wood. I can't believe she's alive, but knock on wood. Her son, I have to say, Biggie. I don't know how big you guys are. This fucking dude is so big. He's a giant. He's about 6'4", 6'5", and just big. He got
that's
married.
About me.
Yeah, he got married to a very nice girl, which we like. But he's never done drugs, never drank, never. He paid for his own way. He works 4 fucking jobs, man. He's got some anger management issues, but he's just done great. He's got a baby now. Yeah, he's got a baby now. All right.
Well, hey, how was it like on the movie set of Soul Plane? And did you get to hang out with Snoop and Method Man?
Yes. Well, I think I've done a couple of movies with Snoop, and he's a sports guy, and I had a sports show. I spent a lot of time with him. My kids are very impressed, and especially my son, 11-year-old son's like, what? Because they'll see pictures of me on the internet pop up, me and Tupac, or when I host Saturday Night Live, or me and I played softball on the MTV Rocket Jock, and the outfield was me, Snoop, and Dre. And there's a great picture of that.
Wow.
And he's not impressed by all my shit, but it was such fun to do Soul Plane because, it was a great cast, fun people. I always tell people, they usually smoke fake pot on movies. They have the fake pot. There's no fake pot. And we're filming in the shower. An airplane, like it was staying in there. I don't smoke pot. I never liked it. If I'd have liked pot and just done pot, I'd still be smoking pot. But I had to do everything. That wasn't enough. So we had so much fun, and it was Kevin Hart's first big movie, and just talking, and I really enjoyed everybody. And I'll tell you, when I go to the airport to this day, the TCA guys know that movie, and they're very nice to me. So, what happened? The reason it wasn't a big financial hit was because right before it came out, somebody stole the negative, the disc, and they printed 300,000 copies and sold them. It was the first time.
Got those. We got those, Tom. Don't worry about it, brother. We got those. Trust me. Listen. Like I said in the beginning of this, everybody that has struggled. We had Tom Arnold on Soul Plane on a white disc. Now we didn't know if it was Booty Talks Volume 53 or it was Soul Planes, but guaranteed, we had you all. Listen, we know you from Soul Plane. Tom, did you know it was going to be a successful flop after, and did you see the stardom in Kevin since that was his first movie? Did you see what we see now?
Well, I'd also worked with Kevin doing stand-up. Like I've done stand-up. So I knew how funny he was. He's very original. And he used to talk about his wife beating the shit out of him. His wife, back then, he had a different wife. And she did. She was like, but I thought, and there were, that bad was hilarious. Sofia Vergara, who ended up on Modern Family, that was her first movie. I mean, Terry Crews, who I love, D.L. Hughley.
It was a great cast.
I'm friends with now that, so I knew this is fun. Like, you don't always have fun. I've been in 150 movies, 4 good ones. That's what I say. But we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. And so I'm grateful that people still talk about it. I have to say, Snoop Dogg came, I had a show called The Best Damn Sports Show, period. on
Yes.
Fox. People remember. And Snoop Dogg came in to be on the show and talk about Soul Play. And I see a stack of DVDs there he's got in his hand. And I said, oh, shit, did the studio send you those? I got to get some. He goes, no. I bought them over in front of Roscoe's for like $1 a piece. I'm like, they pirated. That's our money. They pirated it. And then I laughed. Then I went to Roscoe's right after the show and got a stack this big of the $1 DVDs. You fucking right.
Oh my God.
Those guys, you know,
All right.
they've been so successful, and it's it's great. It's great to be a part of something like that.
Real quick, before we switch to sports, Tom, you worked on the 1994 film True Lies. You became best friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jim Cameron, what does he mean to you? What does the relationship with Arnold mean to you? What did that movie mean to you?
Well, it was really my first movie. I did parts in my first scene in a movie was with Dustin Hoffman in a movie called Hero. And which I thought, that's so cool, because I've been doing TV and I've been writing, but I cannot believe I got cast in that movie. And what happened is my agent at William Morris, that was called back then, called and said, Jim Cameron wants to meet with you for True Lies. And I was very aware of the script of the movie. I was also aware that he was meeting legitimate actors, like big people. And so I said, that's bullshit. He doesn't. And what would turn out to be true, my agent had called Jim Cameron and said, do a mercy meeting with this guy. We do a lot of business between us and your company. So as a favor, meet with this guy. So I knew that what happened. And I thought, I got too much self-esteem for that. Then I thought, you know what? I want to meet James Cameron. This will be my only opportunity to meet James Cameron. So I went down there to his office, and he was very cool. And we're shooting the shit. He's a very cool guy. He's not like a regular director. He's like a 6'3" raw boned Canadian. He will fight. He will throw down. I saw him get the best of Arnold, and you're always afraid of the director, but he treats everybody the same, And the actors, we love him, but people say he's rough on the crews. Well, he could do everybody's job. He has done those jobs. He has lit a set. He has operated the camera. He's done the special effects. So he does get a little antsy as the movie goes over time and over budget because he has to put his own money back in it. But he's great, and people love working with him. And so I go down there, and after chatting with him a little bit, he's like, okay, read the scene, do the scene. And I go, you know what, Jim, I got to be honest. I didn't even read it. I did not prepare it because I know I'm not getting the movie, and it just seems like it'd be less painful if I didn't even try, which is terrible. It's like, well, here it's 3 pages. Read this. So I read the scene one time, and he's like, get Arnold down here. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was upstairs. There's a loft. I didn't know he was upstairs. And all of a sudden, I see Arnold Schwarzenegger coming down the stairs. I'm like, you guys, a fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, And Jim Cameron said the reason he cast me was because when Arnold was walking down the stairs and we were watching him, I said, I can take him. Like, guys are like, I think I hit him low. And, but then Arnold, did the scene together, and it was, magical, the chemistry. And then he said, you get the part, which is crazy. But don't tell anyone for 2 weeks. And I said, I swear to God, I won't tell anyone the best news of my life for 2 weeks. You got that? I go home, I call everybody I know. Yeah. Nobody speak. My own wife thinks I'm back on drugs. And it got, I was like, maybe I didn't get that movie. Why would he ask me to wait 2 weeks? And I found out why he asked me to wait 2 weeks after the movie came out. Because he had to go to Fox Studios down there and give them the good news. And he goes in and he's like to the president of the company, we get great news. I found the third guy. We can start filming True Lies. And third guy after Jamie Lee and Arnold. And they're like, oh, that is great news, Jim Cameron. Who is it? And he said, it's Tom Arnold. And they're like, that is horrible news, Jim Cameron. And he said, well, don't you read the tabloids? Like, he is a crazy person. And Jim Cameron's like, no, I don't read the tabloids. But I wrote this movie, and he's the guy. And they're like, we cannot approve Tom Arnold for this movie. And Jim Cameron's like, that's too bad, because I really wanted to make the movie here at Fox. And now I'm going to go down the fucking street and make it a Paramount. And they're like, oh, shit. We'll let him try. We'll get it. He'll be on. And so the fact that he did that for me, risked, it was the most expensive movie ever made at the time, and took a chance on me and let me be me, let me improvise and let me, he was right. It was, he looks like a genius, but there was a lot of people rooting against it. In fact, the first time they screened the movie for, you get an audience rating, you have a bunch of fans, they show up at a big theater, they don't know what they're going to watch. All of a sudden it comes up, True Lies, it says James Cameron, and people are like, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, and it said Tom Arnold, and they booed.
Ooh.
Wow.
At the end of the 2-hour movie, everybody fills out a form what they liked and didn't like about the movie, and everybody said the thing they liked the most about the movie was me. So they went from hating me 2 hours later to, still not knowing me, but they know, but he's amazing. So that was very important. And we've stayed friends. The movie was a big hit. We've all stayed friends. I see Jamie and Arnold. I see Arnold the most. I saw Jim Cameron and Arnold the other night, and I thought, I bet all movies are like this, and it turns out no movies are like that. But I'm very grateful that I got to do that.
We making a move, niggas say that. Like Hogan and Stan, fuck a playback. Niggas is snakes, so I stay strapped. Willing a fortune like Sajak. Just like my city, I never sleep. This alternative, you got a better peep. Smelling the cash like amphetamine. Zaga me lit like a Lebanese. For a fifth, got a kick and she lemon squeeze. Really him, not what you pretend to be. Nigga,